I'm going to start with you, Jean, asking you a question about nature-based solutions. So what are they? Can you explain it to me as if I was 5 years old?
I'm going to try. Yes, nature-based solutions. In fact, the definition says that it is actions to protect or restore ecosystems that allow to address societal challenges like climate change, food security, water provision, health, and at the same time to provide co-benefits both for human well-being and for biodiversity.
You're working on another ecosystem, that of wetlands. This is what Tour du Vala does. So can you tell me a little bit more about what are wetlands and what nature-based solution they offer?
Yeah, sure. Wetland, so it's all the ecosystem which hosts water, being fresh water or brackish water at a time or full time or permanently or seasonally. So it's lakes, ponds, marshes. So a recent study came to the conclusion that these wetlands, among all ecosystem owners, wetlands represent the ecosystem which provides the most services to human beings, contributes the most to development and subsistence of humanity. And at the same time, this ecosystem is the most degraded and destroyed by the same human being benefiting from it. You know, in the mind of most of the people, wetlands are considered as wastelands. You have mosquito, malaria and diseases. And while it appears that, especially in the face of the climate change, wetlands are our best ally to fight against climate change. They are, in a certain manner, our life insurance. Especially, wetlands are kind of big sponges. They can absorb water in excess and release it along over time when we are in droughts. And we all know that the climate change is going to increase the length and the severity of droughts, as well as increase the extreme events with very heavy precipitations. So these wetlands are going to but are going to play in the future a critical role for our own safety, but also for biodiversity itself. Farming is going to be quite difficult in the coming years due to the scarcity of water. These wetlands are the best way to capture water when rainfall is going to happen, or to feed the groundwater table, or to release this water in the rivers when it's going to be dry. These wetlands are the best protection, and at the same time they provide a huge biodiversity which is also the basis of touristic activity and other activities.
Thank you. And so what is Tour du Vala doing to protect, manage well these wetlands to ensure that we can reap all these benefits for ecosystems and societies?
So Tour du Vala is a research institute for wetland conservation. So our basic work is developing understanding on how these wetlands function, what is the needs of people living in wetlands or from wetlands, and try to find the best balance between protection and use and development.
How do you make successful partnerships work? What are the key ingredients to bring all the stakeholders together to achieve this kind of results?
I'll give you an example based on nature-based solutions. Again, coral reefs are indispensable to protect the coast and to protect the islands and the villages against climate change. They break the waves, they break the cyclone, and they reduce the impacts of cyclones and hurricanes. So coral reefs are extremely powerful as well to reduce the impacts of climate change and to adapt for communities to adapt to the impacts of climate change, bringing all kind of co-benefits, just like wetlands, but all kind of co-benefits, like food security, like biodiversity, and so on and so forth. Now, the Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation has launched an initiative called the Global Fund for Coral Reef. We're building a huge fund, a blended finance instrument, so really bringing a whole coalition together of private foundations, government aid agencies, private sector, with a grant window and an investment window for coral reef. We're focusing on blue economy, so we're focusing on conservation, but also economic models that's going to provide economic benefits. We're within the 3 pillars of sustainable development. So we're focusing on resilient reefs, And the foundation is really putting all its weight in influencing, in advocacy, in bringing together this coalition. We need to demonstrate that investing in nature is good business. And to do that, we need to come up with solutions, with projects at scale, which come up with benefits, but not only environmental benefits, but also economic benefits and social benefits, and which are feasible. All of the partners have to find their space. They have to find an added value for them to get involved. Of course, the public and the general public is putting increasingly a lot of pressure on all of the partners to play their share, including the private sector, including governments. Governments, through policy instruments like the Paris Agreement, they have an obligation now to come up with a nationally determined contribution, to come up with climate action. So they have a commitment that they must honor. So the policy instruments are, in my opinion, essential. And when I say policy, that means legislative, that means policy documents, that means court appeal, and the whole lot of policy issues. That's indispensable. That, to me, the government has to lead. And what we do, well, we push, we pull, we seduce, we threaten. We do whatever we can to ensure that those decision makers, they take the actions. Then, of course, you need the finance. So for that, you need to, again, threaten, pull, and push, and seduce, as before. But the private sector and the banks to say, look, it's good business if you invest in coral reef, for example. It's good business. Your clients are those tourism operators that thrive and develop out of the coral reef ecosystems. For them to prosper, you need to invest in the natural resources that they use. So you need to find the arguments for the private sectors. What I would like to see as a final comment, I come from a business school. I was trained in business. And I was trained to make money. I wasn't trained to protect the environment. I would like business schools to really play their role as a stakeholder of the society, and to teach the students and to teach the university kids that making money is not enough. It doesn't make the people and the planet healthy.